Hey, this is the Broke Investor of 10/05/2020. I am not a financial advisor. Topics: Vice President debate. Did the markets drop or fall after debate? The markets in the morning. It's very interesting with that because the only thing that moved right after the debate was the futures. Some of them down just a little bit, not too much, but what can you expect? I mean, they're more. The media is more interested on the fly, flying around Vice President Pence. Basically, the debate. Did the Vice President debate between Harris and Pence affect the stock market? Like I said, not too much per se, just the futures, but right at that time it was down just a little bit. Depends on who he was asking at that time. And then some U.S. futures rose, even as the Vice President debate came to close. So it depends on what he was looking at, what channel he was looking at, and what different website, different stuff. Shares rose during regular trading after plunging Tuesday after the President debate. Trump called off the COVID-19 stimulus until after the election. The president wants a piecemeal approach. I ain't getting to say about that. Here's the president. The Dow Jones Industrial Average futures rose, gained 89 points. Both S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite futures gained 0.3%. That's before the debate. On Wednesday, on regular trade, the Dow Jones rose 531 points, or 1.9%. It was one of the one-day gains since mid-July, the largest gain. S&P 500 gained 1.7%. Tuesday, the Dow tumbled 1.3%. It's interesting. The S&P 500 fell 1.4%, and the NASDAQ fell 1.6% after President Trump pulled out of the COVID-19 stimulus negotiations. After he sent a tweet, "Ready to sign now." Then he wants a standalone bill for $1,200. You can get more than that later. Democratic Vice President nominee Senator Harris, the Democrat, California, looked into the administration's response to the pandemic and the economic damages caused by it. Get out of there. Thank you. Harris said the greatest failure of any president administration in the history of the country was this President Donald Trump, and Vice President Pence. Harris, she kept interrupting, and they both interrupted each other, as you probably saw. It's just the way they did it. Harris said, "I would not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President. Both candidates really avoid answering questions directly." Which is what's what drug out, but they both have points they want to make, and they really look like they couldn't make the points they wanted to make because they're trying, basically, rub nose on somebody's ass or something, I don't know. But besides that, the markets this morning look pretty damn good. Green. They look green this morning. So I may have wanted to, a little wacky. But I think it really did yesterday before the debate, and after the debate was the futures. One outlook was that dropped a little bit, and another one they went up a little bit. I don't know who you're looking at. And here, what's that? Another warning about. Go ahead. Sorry, I got a warning now. They say it's this Financial Journal, Wall Street. Stocks future rise ahead of jobless claims. Jobless claims, another 840,000 Americans found new employment. So not much change really. Apple News spotlight: the pandemic loomed large at the vice president debate. Yeah, it did. And region asked FDA for emergency authorization of COVID vaccine. And the closed stock market takes a sudden dive after Trump calls off coronavirus relief talks. We covered that one. You see, and this is Barron's. Stock futures rise modestly as vice presidents close out debates, but they fell a little bit too. U.S. stock futures point higher on optimism over fiscal stimulus prospects. That's why depend on who you're looking at, listening to, because when one graph showed them not being down, so I don't know. Because of which one you want to look at. But the indicators say that stocks are on a record high. And then Fox Business says stocks futures rise following Pence-Harris debate. But then the other market I was looking at said it went down. But all in all, I'll say they went down a little bit, then right back up. Let you know who you want to, how you want to read it. But we gotta see what the warning was about. It was about the flooding. And that did not make sense why I got that warning. Anyway, not much new coming right now. At this time, I can cover more of this later, but see what's going on with my wife. Because she wants to go ahead and move to another facility, but she does not know the facility is on the ground. Basically, one floor. I'm going to get warning about flooding. And what's this other warning you sent me? I did like that one. Let's get that out of there. Let's cut it. No. Another outlook. Cisco, the testing an all-electric Freightliner, is Cascadia from Temiro Truck North America, TTNA. We'll get more on that later. Okay, so that was very interesting. But what I was looking at was this warning they sent me. Storm surge warning is in effect for a while. Oh, that's move. Pretty good. Hey, we might have to move. Move somewhere else. Oh, shit. Alright, later.
The reason for that is one, I mean, obviously we've seen a significant uptick in Vice President Biden's poll numbers. The chance of not only a Democratic victory in the White House, but a sweep has gone up. And what that means to the market is that while it may have to wait a couple of months, the eventual stimulus may be much larger than anything that was being contemplated back a month or two ago. So because of that, and also the reduction of uncertainty, or at least a lower probability of a contested election, I think the market's taking this as a positive.
So, Steph, do you agree, and does that mean you embrace cyclical stocks or not?
I do agree, and you know I've been a big fan of cyclicals. I've said barbell for sure because I still want to own some secular tech. I definitely want to own some reopened stocks that have gotten pummeled. But I think cyclical stocks make a lot of sense, and I am 300 basis points overweight industrials, 400 basis points overweight in materials relative to my benchmark, and 300 basis points overweight relative in discretionary as well. And I do believe that it's more than just stimulus hopes, right? I think it's also the economy is showing pockets of strength, and those are the areas where that are actually the majority of the U.S. GDP. So if you look at housing, auto manufacturing, that's 3 times the size of travel and leisure and hospitality. So while I'm very sympathetic to the travel sector and the leisure sector, that's the reason why we're going to get the fiscal stimulus, and that's the reason why it doesn't really matter when you get it, because you're going to have to get it, along with the fact that you have 13 million people still unemployed. So that I get. But at the flip side, there are pockets of this economy that are doing quite well. A million SAR new home sales is huge. 16 million North America SAR in auto last month alone. It was up 6% year over year. Nobody's talking about auto. Auto is actually on the way back for sure. And manufacturing has absolutely been a V. And so I look at manufacturing, the PMI composite. It's highly correlated to corporate profits, which corporate profits is 80% correlated to earnings. So what kind of add it all up, and it looks like economy better, profits better, and I think that's your catalyst in the next couple of weeks as we get earnings. I think they're going to be a lot better than expected.
IBM shares surging as it announces plans to spin off its IT infrastructure business and focus more on the cloud. Deirdre Bosa's got the details for us. Hi, Dee.
Hey, Wilf, IBM essentially splitting into two. Its lower margin contracting IT services business will form the new unit, which will list by the end of next year with a new name, still TBD. IBM will be the faster growing, higher margin cloud and next generation technology business. The idea being shed the legacy parts and accelerate the pivot to hybrid cloud. We know IBM has made a big bet on this sector. Investors cheering the news today, but there is hard work ahead. IBM was late to cloud, remember, and still trails the public cloud giants Amazon, Microsoft, and Google by a wide margin. And despite its previous turnaround plans, sales have fallen around 25% in the past 8 years. Back over to you guys.
Dee, thanks so much for that. Steph is